if I told you that the government handed out million-dollar land deals through private emails? That's not a conspiracy theory. That's the Ontario Greenbelt scandal. And some of you might say that's old news. But quietly behind the scenes, it's far from over. In fact, it's heating up again with new information coming out. And it still strikes a nerve every time I hear it. I'm Linda, one of the Ragona Sisters, and around here, we don't spin the headlines. We expose what's underneath them. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe because I'm breaking down how secret Greenbelt land swaps just triggered a fresh wave of investigations and why your neighborhood might be next. This video's for you if you're a buyer, homeowner, investor, or just someone tired of watching developers win while everyday families get priced out. If you want real talk about real estate, this is the place to be. Now, let's jump into it. Newly released emails reveal backroom deals, developer wish lists, and code words used to skirt the public eye. And yes, the RCMP is still involved. Let me break this down because we've got 3 layers of scandal, 3 emotional gut punches, and 3 takeaways that might make you rethink Ontario real estate. And here's where it gets dark. In a leaked email, a recent email, Sergio Manquia, I hope I said that right, head of Urban Core Developments, personally thanked a senior Ford staffer for helping fix what he called a Greenbelt glitch. That glitch, it was land his company wanted removed from the protected Greenbelt. Land in Hamilton, no less. Wish I was kidding about that, but this is not hearsay. That's in writing, and that email came straight from a personal account off the government servers. And yes, the Information and Privacy Commissioner confirmed that's a violation of Ontario's transparency rules. And Sergio isn't the only name on that file. Investigators have flagged multiple developers who stood to gain millions from these backroom swaps. We're talking the DeGasper family through TAC Construction, Arista Homes, Leslie Elgin Developments, Green Lane Bathurst, Monitar Holdings, Torca 2. This is all according to public records and multiple media investigations. Some of these groups purchased Greenbelt parcels just months before the announcement. Coincidence? You decide. And yes, it actually gets worse. Ontario's privacy watchdog just confirmed that key staffers, including Ryan Amato, Doug Ford's former housing chief, used personal email accounts to broker Greenbelt land deals. That's illegal under Ontario transparency law. And at the core of this, a quiet 2023 rezoning that unlocked 7,400 acres of protected Greenbelt, and it was land meant for conservation. Suddenly, it was offered to developers. No bidding, no warning, and no fairness. Some plots saw instant valuations jump from $8 million or more, and the families who lived near them only found out after the fact. Now, hang on, because this part's also important. If you think this is just political noise, think again, because what we're seeing is the erosion of trust in real estate governance. And if you can't trust how land is assigned, how can you trust the protocol? How can you trust the value? For years, Ontarians were told the Greenbelt is sacred. Premier Doug Ford promised it wouldn't be touched. And then in 2023, it was touched. And now in 2025, the documents show it wasn't an accident. It was coordinated, it was concealed, and it was catered to a select few. And I guess this is where the saying goes, the rich get richer. The Ontario Auditor General and the Integrity Commissioner both slammed the process. 2 ministers resigned and the RCMP got involved, but they didn't undo the damage. Coming up, I'll show you the actual leaked developer memo and what they requested before the rezoning even happened. But first, let's talk about how this happened. Doug Ford's government used a tool called the MZO, Minister's Zoning Order, to bypass local councils. It's supposed to be rare, emergency use only, but Doug Ford issued more MZOs more than any other premier in Ontario's history. One source said it became the back door to instant wealth, or instant lottery. These weren't random flukes. Developers gave input on which lands they wanted to remove from the protection, and then, surprise, those exact parcels got unlocked. Emails show terms like the package, the workaround. Take care of this quietly, please. This wasn't policy, it was profit. And guess who paid the price? You, the taxpayer, the home buyer, the neighbor living near what used to be farmland. Later, I'll explain how these land swaps could jack up your property tax and slash the resale value of your home. Don't scroll away yet. So here's the kicker. By December of 2023, through Bill 136, the government reversed the land swap and restored all 15 sites because the scandal caused a lot of backlash. And naturally it would, bringing back the full 7,400 acres into the Greenbelt. Doug Ford's team reversed most of the swaps after public pressure. No kidding. They claimed it was a mistake. So yes, in theory, the Greenbelt boundary is once again back intact, but that reversal didn't erase the emails, the cuts, or the developer profits that played out in between. But just to add, by then some of the developers have already cleared land, others already flipped ownership, and all of that created chaos in zoning maps, school planning, and infrastructure budgets. So some may be asking, what were the damages? Oh, there were several. Let's touch upon one lawsuit that's still going through the pipelines. A Brampton buyer, Amanpreet Jakhar, as reported by Global News, said he paid $1.5 million to secure rezoning help for properties he owned. He was allegedly promised insider assistance from former Doug Ford staffers and private consultant Frontier Group, who said they could get that land rezoned in 5 to 8 months. Isn't that nice? But the rezoning never happened. Now he's filed a $2.2 million lawsuit claiming fraud, breach of contract, and conspiracy. He also said he never got the land rezoned and never got his money back. And that's the $1.5 million. He paid for influence and he got nothing. Now he's suing to get that all back plus a little extra. Another one who got caught up into the damages, municipalities. Municipalities spent thousands of dollars planning for development. Places like Pickering and Grimsby followed the province's orders, did zoning studies, hired consultants, redrew maps, then boom, the land went back to protected status. And those towns are saying, why should our taxpayers eat that cost for the plan you canceled? And they got a really good point. Pickering alone is asking for $360,000 back. And here's another situation. Over 76% of the land removed was actively farmed. And most of it was prime agricultural land. When developers moved in, farmers saw their land values spike and then it crashed. And now that land's protected again. Many can't sell, they can't build, and they totally feel caught up in the middle. No one's talking about how many billions developers may have gained in land value just from getting an early heads up. The auditor said it clearly, the land was chosen to benefit a few, not the public. Some estimates say 8 to 10 billion in land value shifted hands without a single bidding process. And now, no fines, no repayment, and no accountability. Just a whoops, my bad. And if you're wondering, the developers who already flipped before the reversal got to keep every single penny of their profits. So let's be honest, if this happened in the Greenbelt, what's stopping it from happening near you? I've already had clients in the GTA call me about zoning shifts they weren't even told about, didn't even know about. Maybe it's a new subdivision, a tower getting up across the street from you. Maybe it could be all connected. When transparency collapses, planning collapses. And in real estate, no planning equals no confidence. So here's your first takeaway. Public land is not permanent. Just because it's protected doesn't mean it's safe. You need to monitor rezoning applications and council agendas. The earlier you catch change, the better you can protect your value. Number 2, developer-led deals distort prices. When land swaps are orchestrated for a few players, it inflates nearby land valuations. This can spike taxes, it can price out families, and it shifts the entire balance of supply and demand, especially for low-rise buildings. And the third takeaway, election cycles. It shaped the 2025 Ontario election. And if you think this is over, it's not. The RCMP investigation is still active, and if charges are laid or new leaks emerge, it could change housing policy province-wide. So where does this leave us? In a province where thousands of acres can be quietly flipped behind closed doors? Where ministers resign but laws stay the same? Where developers know the code words and homeowners are left out of the loop? But we're not completely powerless. And if you're watching this, you're already doing more than most. So this should be your plan of action. Stay informed, track zoning, join local land use committees, and most of all, don't assume your neighborhood is immune. So, is the Greenbelt safe? For now, yes. But trust, that's still up for grabs. So there it is, folks. Another scandal under the belt. Will anyone pay for this? Because ministers resigned, emails were scrubbed, land was cleared. But so far, there's been zero compensation for communities that are impacted. No fines, no public penalties, just an whoops. We'll be watching this unfold, and hopefully by the grace of God, we'll see some accountability more than what we've been seeing. If you like this content, hit subscribe. It helps more than you know. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.